Welcome everyone. This is Ronald Speltz broadcasting from aboard the Falkor. This is dive 461 on expedition FK 210922, named Interdisciplinary Study of the Pescadero Basin. So we are located here just east of the tip of Baja California Peninsula in the Gulf of California, particularly speaking east of the island of Cerralvo. And what we're doing in this dive has two purposes. One is to test that all systems of the ROV are working properly, up and running, getting things ready for legs 2 and 3 of this expedition, which are the heat flow leg and the biology leg, informally speaking, respectively. We are now on leg 1, and leg 1 has the purpose of the tectonics and mapping of this expedition. So along the next few days, we will be mapping the southern Gulf of California, the Gulf of California axis, right in the shear zone between the Pacific and the North American plates. The slide passed one each other in this area, and this movement has created several basins. So we are just west of these basins, the Pescadero Basin being one of them. And what we're doing here, it's aside of, we touch bottom, so we are actually diving on the eastern flank of a fault scarp, which has an orientation northeast-southwest, kind of oblique to the regional orientation of the main faults that comprise the border of these, or the boundary of the tectonic plates at this site. So we are kind of located on the eastern margin of the continental margin of the Baja California microplate. So the Baja California behaves still like an individual plate with seismic activity along the eastern and western margin. Most of the formation occurs along the eastern margin of the Baja California microplate. And in this area, which we are kind of close to the continent, to the Baja California Peninsula, we have blocks which have been ripped apart or rotated during extension related to the opening of the Gulf of California. So what we're going to be doing here is go up the Scarp, and we will want to grab a push core of the sediments that we are finding here, just to, like a little jellyfish here. So there's plenty of life on this east-facing Scarp. Those look like shrimps and a few jellyfishes and starfish. And we might as well take a sample of sediment here, which will be used in order to record what is the composition of the sediment in this part of the rifted margin. And maybe later it can be used to be analyzed for the chemical composition of the sediment, heavy metals perhaps, oxides, and chemical composition in general. So I'm going to switch into Spanish right now for the Spanish-speaking audience. Estamos en la expedición FK 210922 a bordo del barco oceanográfico, buque oceanográfico Falkor del Schmidt Ocean Institute. Estamos en esta expedición que llamamos Estudio Interdisciplinario de la Cuenca Pescadero y ahorita nos encontramos haciendo el buceo 461 en orden progresivo de el Falkor y estamos en lo que es el flanco oriental de un escarpe de falla a lo largo de un bloque continental rotado, el cual ha sido precisamente deformado con relación la deformación de este bloque está asociada con la apertura del Golfo de California. Toda la margen oriental de la microplaca de Baja California se encuentra, no toda la margen, pero sí más o menos del paralelo 25 hacia el sur, hasta la punta de la península. Sigue habiendo procesos de extensión en el borde continental y nos encontramos precisamente ahorita tomando un núcleo de sedimento en este escarpe. Vamos a ver cuánto penetra. Normalmente si hay roca abajo, el núcleo toca el fondo y ahorita entró suavemente. Parece ser que es una pendiente sumamente sedimentada. Estábamos esperando. Perfecto. Almost full. So casi completa la penetración. Perfecto, nice and smooth. So this is push core. Este es el push core. No vi el número. Ok, este es el núcleo de sedimento 19 y lo que se está haciendo es asegurar ahorita el núcleo. Estábamos esperando que hubiera for the top, until we get to the crest of the Scarp. Okay, I'm gonna switch back to English now. So we just recovered a push core on the eastern flank of this very gentle, low dipping Scarp, which we have been interpreted to be controlled by a low angle normal fault. The slope is gently dipping to the east or northeast, southeast. And now we're going to be riding up and see if we can find an outcrop. We are trying to see if there are any rock outcrops aside from sediments. So the slope is really gentle, so it might be difficult to spot a rock outcrop, I'm afraid. But if we get our push course, that will be a good test dive, and we will later use these sediments for other studies, to study the chemical composition of the sediments in this part of the rifted margin. So that's a nice shrimp swimming back there. And we're going up the Scarp. We're hoping to find a rock outcrop, which now I'm beginning to think that This is going to be heavily sedimented, and this is in fact a good result because we can adjust our interpretations of the structural. That's a. Well, I'm not a biologist, but we will be hanging around here so the biologists know what we are looking at.
Do you want to go at a decent speed so we can try to cover a lot of ground?
Yeah, we can go a little bit faster. I think this is going to be turned out to a heavy sedimented area. So can we have like by radar see if there's any? Okay, there's nothing.
We'll be keeping an eye on
I hadn't seen.
if I see
Yeah.
anything over there.
Okay, a strong reflector that might look like. So we are going up on this west-facing scarp. Very gentle slope. Now we know that from the middle of the scarp all the way to the top, it's heavily sedimented. Lots of
Just tell us we're going
starfish,
to decent pace trying to find a
shrimp, jellyfish, and fish in this area.
Bridge, ROV. We're going to be going at
So even though the seabed might look like a barren place, we are at
yeah, we'll just go up to
978 meters deep. So it's almost 1,000 meters deep, and we see a lot of fauna inhabiting this southeast facing scarp. Unfortunately, we haven't seen any rock outcrops, which we thought kind of expect that, but we never know. So it's been a successful dive. It's a really quick dive just to test the ROV system. We already collected a push core, and we know that all systems are good. Ok, muestreamos, estamos yendo pendiente arriba de este escarpe. Teníamos interpretado como un escarpe de falla, tiene un ángulo muy somero de alrededor de 25-26 grados, lo cual lo hace un escarpe de bajo ángulo. We have, okay, possibly. Ok, estamos detectando en el radar lo que parece ser unos reflectores fuertes que posiblemente sean afloramientos de roca justo en o cerca de lo que es la cresta de este escarpe, esperando poder recolectar una muestra de roca. La parte superficial o la parte más alta del escarpe seguramente son zonas en donde todo el sedimento por gravedad, por degradación, ahí tenemos las rocas. So we found rocks actually here. So we were right. So these are rock outcrops at the crest of the scarp, which we love to have a piece of these and see what it is made of. We're kind of expecting, if this is fault controlled, to have we can take a few chunks of this outcrop. Everything seems to be in place, so this is good. I mean,
those lasers on right there, those are 10 centimeters. See the two green dots?
Okay, yeah, the green dots right there at the center of the screen are 10 centimeters. Okay, so we can see the scale.
You want to have a look around this area and see where you want to get the rock stars first?
Yeah, well, if you want, I mean, okay, we can just scout the area a little bit, and then we know that there we have decent sized pieces that we can collect. So this one is huge. This one is like 30-40 centimeters wide and perhaps almost a meter up, so this is quite big. So this is really strongly covered by marine life here, so hard strata, it's always a good place for animals to start colonize the seafloor. So we have a few sponges down to the left, and so these are like corals, soft corals. Please forgive me if I'm mistaken, I'm not a biologist, but I am certainly sure that those white stuff that we see there are sponges.
You got a bivalve right there in between the cracks.
Right, and an anemones.
Feather stars right there, crinoids.
Crinoids, that's what I was saying. They were soft corals, but I think, yeah, but these are nice. I mean, 1,000 meters, well, we are 962 meters deep, so it's almost 1 kilometer, and the height of the scarp is around 40, more or less 40 meters tall scarp. So we are at the crest. We are scouting this outcrop here, which we were really lucky because we now know that these blocks are made of this particular type of rock, which it looks like to be volcanic. I mean, just judging by the appearance, I'm not 100% sure, but later, a little bit later, so that's an eel, right? I don't know, it's
Some kind of a rat tail.
okay, it has like this, it's facing the other way, but I kind of thought that it has the face of an eel. Yeah, and we can see the low angle there. This huge chunk of rock, I mean, this is in place. So this is the actual outcrop, and we can see the how it's dipping down. So that's the dip of the, we measure fault scarp based on two orientations, the strike, which is the strike to which the scarp face is oriented, and then perpendicular to that direction we measure the dip, which is the angle from the horizontal. So this is a really low angle fault scarp, which I am beginning to think that this is indeed a fault scarp. I mean, we do not know for sure, but it looks like. And so I'm going to switch into Spanish. Okay.
Let me know where you want to.
Yeah, I mean, we can start sampling now, and if we can have like a 10 to 20 centimeters,
Just a couple of them.
2-3 pieces would be great from different places. I mean, we have that outcrop there where all the pieces are broken, so we can take like 3 pieces. All of them, they're gonna be same composition, base, same outcrop, so we know that regardless of what piece we take, they all represent the this outcrop. So there is no, so we're at the top of the scarp, so we know that this is the crest and the rocks that are not covered here in, oh yeah, to the left. That's beautiful. And there's a cucumber, sea cucumber right here at the right. Wow, this is, look at the eyes, it looks like a Muppet. Yeah, big eyes. That's beautiful. Whoops. Well, now we have a good view of the sea cucumber and the anemone. Yeah, that's great. Ok, so estamos en la cresta del escarpe. Estábamos un poco dudosos si encontraríamos un afloramiento de roca que nos dijera de qué están compuestos estos bloques localizados en la margen oriental de la microplaca de Baja California. Y bueno, tuvimos suerte de encontrar este afloramiento. Ya especulábamos que la mejor parte iba a ser, o la porción más favorable para recolectar un fragmento de roca sería perfecto en la parte superficial, justo en la cresta del escarpe. Entonces los escarpes se van degradando realmente morfológicamente van degradándose a lo largo del tiempo y van de una pendiente que pudiera ser bastante inclinada, van de alguna manera disminuyendo la pendiente conforme progresa la erosión y bueno, con esa degradación el sedimento y parte del material que compone el escarpe migra pendiente abajo y se acumula en la base del escarpe. De esta manera esperábamos que la base del escarpe estuviera más cubierta por sedimentos, y hace unos momentos al inicio de esta inmersión tomamos un núcleo en la porción central de este escarpe. Ya tenemos esa muestra y ahora estamos tratando de recuperar 2-3 fragmentos de roca. Y lo que comentaba hace unos momentos en idioma inglés es que esto tiene toda la apariencia de ser volcánico, pero probablemente haya sido afectado durante procesos posteriores a su formación por deformación relacionada con fallas o fallamiento durante el proceso o su historia, durante el proceso de apertura del Golfo de California. But it looks like a big chunk, right? So that is a fresh, I mean, you can see the piece has two colors. The one that was underneath or covered by sediments, it's fresher. So we want to, hay que tomar una foto. And, well, I see big crystals here. I mean, it's definitely porphyritic. It's both like volcanic and it's igneous in origin, absolutely. So all of those white spots are perhaps plagioclase. I might be mistaken, but yeah, it has some red color might be due to oxidation. And yeah, this is a nice piece. Very good to break. Yeah, it's we can keep it. That's a keeper. Okay. So we will definitely study this rock in greater detail, but at first, the first glance is that it's porphyritic, meaning that it started to cool at a low rate, and then suddenly it was suffered a quicker cooling process, and then the rest of what was not crystallized, so crystallized really quick. So that's what we call in geology a porphyry. That's a texture which is comprised by relatively large crystals. Can we have another one, perhaps a little bit, now that we are here taking advantage, right? Yeah, one for Ale, which is the artist on board. She's a really cool person. And yeah, and her art is amazing. You will learn, the audience will learn much more about her work during this expedition. So we have scientists, we have great crew, great captain, great cooks, great ROV pilots, great students, great outreach persons. Yeah, so everyone, it's really great. That's a huge one too. I mean, yeah.
That's a pretty big one.
That's a big one, but I mean, yeah, we can. Okay, let's have it. Yeah, it's.
Do you want to have a look at it, or just?
Yeah, we can take a look at it, so we can have a frame graph of the rock. You know, it is like it's like there are chunks of. This is kind of volcanic. It's comprised of several. I don't know. I mean, we have to take a look at it more closely. It's perhaps those purplish spots there might be fragments or rock fragments in this rock, so it might turn to be a volcanic breccia, or perhaps it can turn out to be sedimentary. I know it's difficult to judge from just by looking here at the rock. We need a closer look, but that's okay. It's great. We can take this piece and we will bring all these samples to the top, and definitely we will study this. So what is your guess about the size of this rock? If we can turn the lasers on, yeah, that's 10 centimeters. So it's like a 20 centimeters. That's great. That's good. It's a great size. We can just use our geology hammers here, and we can split this open. So this is great.
Y'all have fun.
Okay, so this is a result, and this is a great result because at least we know what all these blocks located along the eastern continental margin of the Baja California microplate are made of. So this is a good finding, and I'm so glad that we could take advantage of this test dive so we could collect a push core and 2 big rock samples. So the only thing left to do would be like take another push core in a place where we think that it's some kind of sub-horizontal.
It looks like there's another outcrop of the rocks ahead of us if you want to go look at that.
Yeah, if you look up on here, up to the right there.
Okay, yeah, we can go there definitely. Yeah, and see if it looks similar, and then we can. Yeah, that's nice. So there's another rock outcrop on our radar. So we're gonna go and check it out and see if it's made of the same stuff that we just collected. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna switch back into Spanish. So, okay, representando aquí a científicos mexicanos en esta expedición, nos encontramos investigadores y profesores de la Universidad Autónoma de Baja California, particularmente adscritos a la Facultad de Ciencias Marinas, y se encuentran también estudiantes de posgrado que son nuestros estudiantes de un servidor, Ronald Spels Madero, y del profesor Ismael Yarbú. Y los estudiantes están adscritos al posgrado en oceanografía costera, aunque estamos un poco alejados de la costa, seguimos estando en lo que sería la plataforma continental, oceanográficamente hablando, del borde oriental de la península de Baja California, que, como dijimos al principio, tectónicamente se comporta como un bloque independiente, no está completamente acoplado a lo que es la placa Pacífico, que se mueve hacia el noroeste con respecto a la que sería el continente principal, la porción de tierra del territorio mexicano, que estaría ubicado en la placa de Norteamérica. Entonces estamos en un escarpe orientado hacia el noreste-suroeste y vamos subiendo a lo largo del escarpe. Podemos observar que hay numerosos afloramientos que van saliendo en la parte superior de este escarpe, y podemos observar que es el mismo tipo de roca. Definitivamente podría asegurar que no hay ningún cambio litológico con relación a lo que muestreamos un poco más abajo del escarpe. Y ok, voy a cambiar al inglés para más o menos ir guiando a los pilotos del ROV. Ahorita lo que nos falta es colectar un núcleo de sedimento en la porción más alta del escarpe. Se ve, esto está en posición y tiene un buzamiento hacia el suroeste, es decir, el buzamiento es la inclinación de este cuerpo de roca con respecto a esta pendiente, que decíamos tiene un ángulo bastante bajo, de alrededor de 24 grados, 26 grados. Okay. Yeah, I think if we can have like a small piece, but really small, it would be great. If not, we can just take a push core right at the top. I mean, when you guys, based on the topography, see when it gets subhorizontal, so that would be the best place for us to take a push core.
On a flat surface.
On a flat surface, right.
How small would you like? How small would you like it to be? The rock we were getting on?
The rock, like about 10 centimeters. Yeah, it would be. It can be a little bit bigger if I don't want to make you guys struggle.
Estamos en la parte de abajo. Valdría la pena subir un poco más.
Okay. Yeah, so para el push core, Okay, so for the English spoken audience, so we now found another outcrop. So we are going upslope along this gently dipping fault scarp, and just to make sure, we want to grab another piece from this part of the scarp. This outcrop here, just to make sure that it is the same type of rock that we just sampled down below, which it looks like. I mean, I'm almost 100% sure that it's going to be the same. So that's like a 5 centimeter. It's great. So it's covered in sediment, so it's gonna be greater than that. And then we get to know, like in this little transect, how the rocks are made of. So this is like that's great. That's great. Awesome.
Take a look at it before I put it away.
Couldn't be any better. Yeah, if we can shake it a little bit so we can get rid of the sediment. Great. Rock and roll. Yeah. Okay, this is quite. Yeah, that's great. Can we put it in a separate bin? I mean,
Put it off to the left-hand side.
okay. Yeah, we're not planning to collect more rocks, so we will know. This is highly weathered, and we can judge by the just the color. The ones that we collected previously were fresher. So the parts that are in direct contact with the water get weathered. Really, you can see the change in color. So we're gonna put it in a separate bin. So just to make sure that we know that it doesn't come from the last outcrop. Great, so everything has been sweet and smooth so far. So we will know that the ROV is gonna be in top shape for the heat flow leg, which is going to be the next, starting on the 17th or 18th of October. And then 8 days after the 17th, the biology leg, which is going to be really exciting. Sadly, myself, I'm not going to be on that leg, but I will certainly be looking it through the YouTube channel, the SOY channel. Great, so I guess we can start going along that transect up the Scarp, and as soon as it gets subhorizontal, as soon as we get to the top of the Scarp, I'm expecting to have a subhorizontal surface where we can take a push core. So everything from here to the top looks like there are no more scattered outcrops of rock or rocks cropping out of the sediment surface. So we're looking for sub-horizontal surface at the top of the Scarp, so we can know that the sediment there has been deposit subhorizontally and horizontally, or subhorizontally, and then we can have a good estimate of the sediment column in this area, which is highly sedimented. We had full penetration of push core 11 right at the middle of the center point of this scarp, and so we know that there's a lot of sediments in this area covering these volcanoclastic rocks. So we were really lucky to target this area, because in other places we might have not seen any rocks. So those outcrops back there we're really lucky to see those. And as I was saying, this is in fact a great result, because now we know what all these blocks, which if later on during the cruise we show a map of this eastern continental margin of Baja California, we will see that there are a lot of submarine hills which we interpret to be rotated blocks of continental crust that have been rotated due to extension associated to the opening of the Gulf of California. So there's a still extension going on along this margin that has been actually recorded with GPS in several studies. So that's quite interesting, because the central portion of the Gulf of California, we have oceanic crust already forming in that area, and we would expect the continental margins to be abandoned after the continental crust has completely ruptured. And along this part of the eastern margin, it has been recorded that extension it's still occurring. So this is quite interesting. So we're kind of getting to the top, right? More or less.
Yeah, so on this map, the pixelation is okay. So sorry for that. We were just debating
how far we want to go along this transect. So as I was saying, this is the tectonics and mapping. So this is a test dive, and we already saw what we were expecting to find here, and all our goals during this test dive have been accomplished. We have a rock, so we get to know what these blocks along the eastern margin of the or along the eastern continental margin of Baja California are made of. So we see that it's the same kind of rock. So yeah, I mean, as I was saying earlier, this is pretty much, we have sampled already all the rocks that comprise these rotative blocks. And now we're gonna go and take. We can continue up the slope. We can perhaps get a little bit away from this outcrop and then find a nice spot. Yeah, and we'll take a push core and we can call the dive completed and successfully completed. So we didn't want to waste the opportunity during this dive, that the test dive, in order to see some geology and to show you guys what this area looks like. So it's definitely going to be more exciting during legs 2 and 3, where we will be diving on the Pescadero Basin, and where we found in 2015 the first hydrothermal vents in this Pescadero Basin, and then later in 2018 during expedition FK 1831 11, if I'm not mistaken, 181131. Yeah, it's the year 2018. Then the month and the day. So 181031. So began the 31st of October 2018. So we visited these the hydrothermal vents in the Pescadero Basin, which we will be visiting during the following days in leg 2 and 3 of this expedition. So right now we are getting ready to get another push core. This is going to be push core 18. So as we speak, there's the students, they are taking notes of what we are saying here and taking and recording every detail that we are samples, rock samples, push cores, frame grabs, and everything that we are seeing on this dive. So great, this is going to be push core 18, collected at the summit of this southwest facing scarp along the eastern margin of the eastern continental margin of the Baja California Peninsula, at a depth of, we are now 930 meters. So we started close to about 1,000, and we have like 70 meters in height difference, plus times 2. It's going to be like 140 meters tall scarp. So as we're seeing, we are, is it soft or, yeah, really soft, right?
Yeah, very soft. Not jelly soft, but definitely not.
So really soft spot. This is great. This is going to be used later on for analyzing the chemical composition of these sediments at the Universidad Autónoma de Baja California. And geochemists at this institution will be really excited to have another sample. So that's a full penetration push core. So it is great. And every time we come out here, it is really exciting, and we never miss a chance of collecting sediments from the seabed, because the collection of all these samples, whether they are from this expedition or other expeditions, they are always analyzed, and this data collectively are used to interpret the several aspects of the formation of the Gulf of California and the climate that has been operating in the past or prevailing in the past. So this obviously is exposed to the currents, and so it is not like a closed spaced area where we can have like a longer push core and study the entire history of sedimentation in these areas. So for sure in the Pescadero Basin we will have the opportunity to collect more cores during further legs of this expedition. Great, thank you guys. It was great. So yeah, I guess we can call this dive off unless we need something else to do in terms of testing the ROV. I don't know if you guys are comfortable with what we've done so far. Yeah, that's okay. Great. So we are wrapping this dive right now. It's a wrap up. It was successful, and so we have what we were here to collect, which were sediments and the rocks of this in this area. So we will keep you posted on what the results are, and we will continue mapping along the following days. So we will generate really amazing and astonish maps of the sea floor in this southern part of the Gulf of California along the boundary of the Pacific and the North American plates. A los que nos ven en español, pues bueno, terminamos de colectar el último núcleo de sedimento justo en la cresta de este escarpe de falla, de alrededor de 140 por ahí metros de alto. Ya probamos también el ROV, todo está funcionando perfecto. Bajamos a una profundidad de alrededor de 1000 metros. Subimos 70-80 metros en desnivel a lo largo de este escarpe y estamos regresando a la superficie. Vamos a continuar cartografiando el fondo marino durante los siguientes días en esta expedición y generando mapas a una resolución de alrededor de 40 metros por píxel que nos van a revelar cosas sorprendentes del fondo marino. Esto los utilizaremos para interpretaciones sobre la geología y la estructura en esta parte del Golfo, las cuales nos permitirán hacer más adelante interpretaciones con relación a la tectónica o la deformación relacionada con la apertura del Golfo de California. Ok, por su atención, muchas gracias y sigan al pendiente de los buceos durante la etapa 2 y 3 que comienza el 17 de octubre próximo. So for you guys, English spoken audience, we are saying goodbye from now, and keep or stay tuned for legs 2 and 3 of this expedition when there will be exciting dives on hydrothermal vents. So for now it's all, and thank you for your for being here.